Chris, I'm not gonna cry, all right? I'm a crier. It's been an amazing journey with Habitat. I didn't even know anything about Habitat. I say this all the time, and I'm gonna say it every time, so get used to it, Chris. The only thing I knew about Habitat was Jimmy Carter. That's all I knew. I didn't even know it existed in Ulster County. And one day at work, I worked at the hospital at that time, and there was someone from Habitat there. I started talking to them, and automatically I felt something happening. I called my wife, she started crying on the phone. And we didn't even know if we were eligible at this point, but we both felt something was happening. And then after doing the paperwork and then the eligibility, then we were eligible. A lot of people in my life are kind of, so you get a free house? And I'm like, no, I'm not getting a free house. So I didn't even really know, and I found out by that a lot of other people didn't know really what Habitat is. And then we got into the house that was already being built, a 3-bedroom. They didn't even have a family for it. And that's exactly what we needed. And we were struggling with where we were living, with rent and neighborhoods and everything else. And a 3-bedroom apartment, a building, home. I'm so used to calling things, not homes, was there. And then we got involved. We were approved. And being approved is you gotta have credit, you gotta be able to get a loan. It's not like they handed us a house. They helped us build the house with love. And it was affordable because of what they do with Rumco and all these other agencies. It was like a world that I didn't even know existed, and people need to know it exists. The other night I was telling Kevin, there's some nights I sit on my front porch, I got my American flag outside, sometimes the moon's shining, and I sit there and I get overwhelmed, and I can't even believe it that I own my own home. I never thought this would happen. I'm not going to get into details of my life or whatever, but for over 30 years I was running the streets, drinking, doing drugs, and I never thought I would have a family, or let alone own a home. I didn't have any credit. And I got sober, and then things started happening, and now everything in my life that I thought I would never have, I have. And the only reason why I have the house is because of Habitat. I wouldn't be able to get a home and afford that. So getting me in, and now I'm there. Unfortunately, my wife wasn't able to make it. There were some previous plans, and people got sick and everything else, and for me and my wife and my family, the gratitude we have for Habitat it's immeasurable. It's immeasurable. I walk into my home, I'm glad, I'm happy. When I talk to the bank, yeah, and then pay the mortgage. When I'm paying my rent, I'm like, I gotta give these guys my money. Now it's like I'm investing in my family. It's a totally different feeling. We're blessed beyond belief. And I'm so grateful to be part of such an amazing program, and I'm just overwhelmed. So I appreciate all you coming out. Unfortunately, I can't stay because of the sickness, and my daughter got to go to a party and everything else. But just thank you, thank everyone, thank you.